All right, man. Well, let's try this for the first time. This is William Gomez. I'm Alfredo Madrid with Supreme Lending. And one thing that I really wanted to discuss today is, well, how long have you been with us, with Supreme Lending?
I've been with Supreme for about, I want to say 2.5 years, but my start date was November 2019, so close to that.
Nice. Well, these last 2 years, it's been real fun to watch you implement everything that has been put in front of you to grow your business, whether you got it from here, whether you got it from outside sources, whether it's from a book you read. Tell me a little bit about your mentality when it comes to implementation.
My mentality when it comes to implementing stuff is anytime that I read a book, anytime that I ask for advice, whether it's from you or anybody else that I kind of look up to, and I go to a conference, and whatever I learn, if I don't implement that as fast as I can, to me that's wasted time, wasted money, and it's just, I feel like it's going to get me to the point of where people are like, man, that doesn't work. Yeah. The reason it doesn't work is because they never tried it.
I heard somebody say one time that average people implement soon, but successful people implement now. And it made so much sense to me, but what I've noticed since then is there's so few people that are willing to do that. I think, honestly, you're an anomaly that's come in here, join Supreme Lending, and just come in there and, like, there's hardly anything I can say to you, a book I can mention, that you haven't read it by, like, that week. You know, so it really makes a ginormous difference to be able to apply it so that you can see if it's going to be a good fit for you or not.
Yeah, and I think that, to me, it's kind of, even in a way, disrespectful if I'm like, hey, Alfredo, you know, I'm always curious of, you know, your story and how you started, kind of to try to gauge on how quickly it took you to get to where you're at. And if you tell me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things to do, or that you did, even if you indirectly tell me how to, that not to, like, you just tell me like I did this.
Yeah.
And to me, that's disrespectful as far as like I'm just kind of wasting your time, and that's with everybody else. But so many people have the mentality of, yeah, I would love to lose some weight.
Sure.
Yeah, I would love to, you know, drive a nice car. I would love to do all these awesome things, but if you don't do the back end work, you're never going to get there. It's never going to happen if you don't take that first step. I think we always come back just pumped up from like these conferences, and we come back pumped up from like this last book we read, but it does you no good to get motivated, right? Motivation is so short-lived. Yeah.
Right? The first day that you have a rainy day, that motivation is gone, and if you don't have systems in place that you've implemented right away, then they don't continue on.
Yeah, another thing that how I feel that my mentality is a little bit different is also trying to give back. A lot of the times when you think of giving back, people go right to thinking of giving back money or giving back, you know, in charity work or, you know, something along those lines. When I think of giving back as well too, I think of how have I been impacted in my life, in whatever area, whether it's health, finance, work, you know, fitness, whatever that is, and how can I try to teach somebody that, because the way that I see it is not just me, but everybody, no matter what level you think that you might be in, you're in the middle. There's always people that can help you get higher, and then there's always people that you can help as well. So one of the things that I feel that I've gotten a lot of great joy is like, hey, Alfredo, like, what are your goals and what do you want to do with, you know, with your branch? And one of the things has been like, hey, let's get more loan officers here. And then there's other loan officers that talk to me and say, why do you even care about that? Like, you're not the branch manager there. And I say, well, I want to try to give back some to all the things that I've learned from you. But not only that, but I want to see people grow, and I want to be able to help those people. When I changed my mentality, approaching referral partners such as realtors to that, it has completely changed my business, because I remember doing a business plan for an agent that we work with, and she had done $2 million that year, and we had her do, the goal was for her to do $5 million. Mm-hmm. She ended up doing over $10 million that year.
Wow.
I can't tell you how many deals she sent me that year, how much volume she sent me that year, but what I can tell you is that I was a part of that, of her being in the $10 million club, and that goes so much, a long way know that you were a part in somebody else's success.
You know, that's so good, and it's almost too many moves down the road for most people to see that, you know, Zig Ziglar said it, if you help others get what they want, you're ultimately going to get what you want.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how much favor that even creates with me, you know, as far as I see your selflessness in trying to help the organization around you, and you know that's obviously going to get people on your side.
Yeah,
you know, so I think that's been awesome. One of the things that I was really excited about when you came on board over here with Supreme Lending is to teach you a little more about how to grow your own team, because ultimately, you know, we need to work to live, not live to work. And I see so many people out there just working crazy hours, sacrificing their own personal quality of life with themselves and their family, you know, to try to get more business, but that's not the only way to do it, right? If you get the right team in place, if you have the right structure and accountability pieces and the right transparency, you can do even more business while still maintaining that quality of life at home. Tell me a little bit about your experience growing a team and what's that done for you?
Yeah, I mean, anytime, whether it's a recruiter or a fellow loan officer that works at a different company, or even a friend that I run into that has nothing to do with the business, they ask me, you know, how's it going at Supreme? And my answer is always the same. I say, the vision that I was sold has come to pass even more than what I could have imagined. But awesome. The only way that you can get there is by putting in the work.
That's right.
So I came from the bank, and at the bank I had help. I had an assistant that helped 3-4 other loan officers, which it really wasn't much help. And when I came over here, I saw your team. You didn't really have to even sell me on, come over here, you'll create a team. Like, you just walking in the office, I could see, you know, the way your setup was. And so I started off with one person right away that was just on my team. And the transition was a little bit different because I came over in November, and then December, a lot of my loans rolled over. So I felt like, you know, I had a lot of momentum. That's another thing that a girl that just joined our team, that I told her, you talk about motivation is not going to be there forever. Momentum is not going to be there forever as well. So you have to build on. When you catch Big Mo, compound effect, Darren Hardy, he calls it Big Mo. When you have that momentum, you have to do, like, what can I do to keep this momentum as long as possible? Because every successful person out there that you can think of, that's how they got there, is by catching that big momentum and being able to keep on going and going and going. So I remember going from that December to January where I think I closed in December like 11 or 12 loans, to January I closed like 3 loans. And then it's like I lost Big Mo, and that could have easily been like, well, that's it. I mean, I guess I'm just going to have one person here. But the only thing you have control over is your mind, right, your mentality. And Jordan, who was my first guy here, he's still on my team.
Rock star.
He still tells me, man, I used to think you were crazy when you were telling me that we were going to get a second person by the summer. And then, man, the first quarter was tough, but I just kept telling myself it's going to happen. I just have to put in the work. I have to put in the work, because at the end of the day, fear and faith are the same exact thing. You're believing something that you have no control or any idea of what's actually going to happen, right?
You get to choose which one you have.
You and I both are leaving the office at some point today, and you and I both have the decision to leave the office and say, hey, I'm going to get home safe and sound to my family and finish out the rest of my day. Or you could leave and say, man, I really hope that someone doesn't hit me and I don't wreck and I don't get to see my family tonight. No matter what you say in that, you have no control of what's going to happen. All you have control is over your thoughts of being able to say, you know, in my opinion, believing something that's better, it's going to help you out in the long run, right? Because think about it this way. If you're scared that you're going to wreck and not get home, and you end up getting home, you just cost a bunch of stress and anxiety that should, like, why was it even there in the first place? But then if you're believing that you're going to get home safe and sound, and God forbid you get in a wreck, at least you didn't have any wasted time of the stress and anxiety. You have no idea what's going to happen. Right. So I just kept telling myself, I can do this. I can do this. You've done this before. So in June of like 6 months in, pretty much, I got my second person. And having people around you that believe in you, like you did, I told you, Alfredo, I know that the first quarter was rough, but I can see it right now. I mean, we're about to close, 17 loans for $3 million this month. I have big momentum right now, and I don't want to lose it. You trusted me, got somebody else on board, and now I have 3 people on my team with a junior loan officer that's going to be transitioning now to be their own LO, and it goes all hand in hand. Hard work pays off, and mentorship is real as long as you're able to take that advice and implement it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.